Hey guys, Jim Halterman from TV Guide Magazine, TV Insider. I'm here with Joseph Sikora, who's leading up as Tommy Egan on Power for Force.
I didn't catch your name.
I didn't throw it.
Are you coming or going?
Definitely going.
Probably a wise choice after pissing off the Flynn family.
That name's supposed to mean something to me.
You don't want to stick around Chicago to find out.
I drove down, I think, Sunset Boulevard and saw your face on a poster and a billboard, and it was very exciting to see. How's it been for you, this ride?
I got to see that same billboard. I was out there with my brother, Albin. Albin and I just started our own production company less than a year ago, Black Fox Productions. So I'm back and forth to LA a little bit because he's running it out of LA. Anyway, okay. I got to see the Power Book 4 Force thing with Tommy on the side by the Mustang with the gun. And man, Jim, you've been there since the beginning. And you know that this has been such a grassroots show. The ball started rolling, and then the inertia of the show, the brilliant writing of Courtney A. Kemp and Gary Lennon really propelled us along with the idea of Mark Ken and the incredible artistic machine of guidance of Curtis 50 Cent Jackson. It was really a perfect storm. And here we are now with these spin-offs in this whole Power universe.
It's funny because in the first episode, there's some quick flashbacks to what Tommy went through on the original Power series, and you forget this guy's gone through so much. What did you find new in Tommy? You played him all this time, and now this is kind of next chapter. Are you still finding new stuff about this guy that you know so well?
Yeah, absolutely. I think one of the huge luxuries is that Tommy is a super fish out of water in Chicago. We established in the show that he doesn't really like being in Chicago. Can I just go home now? When he was talking to the Serbian mob boss, played by Mike Dopid, Jason Mičić. He doesn't like LA because of the dry heat, doesn't like that desert environment. So now we place him as a fish out of water because Tommy is just he bleeds. He's so much like Gary Lennon that you can't take the New York out of this person. So Tommy really is New York, and that's his safety blanket. That's his identity, his skin. So when he sheds that skin, and he is in this new environment, in this new city of Chicago, I think those situations are all so new to Tommy that I loved having that discovery. Also, you mentioned where we find Tommy. We find him at the end of Power, really a shell of a man is how I describe it, because he's lost his brother, best friend, Ghost. He's lost Lakeisha, who he wanted to be his wife, and Cash. Tariq and Tasha have turned their back on him. His own mother has disowned him. The mobs are against him. The mafia is against him. The Tejadas are now against him from Power Book 2 Ghost. So he really has to leave New York and has no other option. So I think that we find him in such an interesting place to play that you can't help but find new dimensions to the character.
Yeah, and it's pretty much a direct pickup from when we last saw him driving off into the sunset on the original series, right?
Kind of, but he does the U-turn to go take care of that unfinished business with Tasha and Tariq in Power Book 2.
Oh, right.
Ghost.
Yeah.
But then he leaves Tariq. Really, I mean, they think that it's almost like you ain't never going to see me again. It was more like there was no vitriol towards Tariq as much as there was the street judgment of saying, you're in capable hands, and despite myself, I still love you. So I'm able to leave you now.
Okay. Well, being a fish out of water, which is what I had in my notes, so it's great we're on the same wavelength there. How does he kind of handle Chicago when he first gets there? Because it's, even though it's still a rough city, different people, different places, Tommy able to kind of keep his head above water?
Yeah, I think it's because he's a survivor and he's in survivor mode. When we read these things in the papers of people doing incredible things when it's a life or death situation, I think we find Tommy really in that situation. Like, he almost wants to die at the end. You saw in the pilot what Tommy goes through, driving with the lights off. And, as viewers, I think that Larissa Kondracki, who directed the pilot episode, did an incredible job taking the risk of having no dialogue in there and allowing that to play, because we almost, as an audience, we almost don't realize that not a word has been said in those first 2 minutes, because it's so full. We're so present with Tommy and what he's going through. So you find a man really at the kind of the end of his rope. But because Tommy's a survivor, I've always described him as this lone wolf who's willing to chew off his own arm if he gets caught in a trap to survive. And he's going to need to do that in Chicago.
Okay, now he hasn't had the best track record with love in his life. I mean, he's had some love, but it doesn't always end up as a happy ending. Is he going to maybe get that in this world? Do you think he'll have some romance that goes better for him?
Well, I think initially, at least, Tommy is still carrying around that fire of Lakeisha in his heart anyway. Now, we all know Tommy's a little bit more animal instinct than a lot of us, so he's still a man. But
Right.
I think that he still carries the soul of Lakeisha with him. So that's really going to affect his decision making in terms of the females.
If Tommy were to walk in a bar, what does he want to drink?
Not my choice, but Tommy would drink have a Jameson double Jameson neat. That would be what Tommy would go to.
Okay, what would your choice be?
If I'm at home with my wife, we usually sip on vodka on the rocks with a little fresh lime or something like that. Classic pseudo gimlet over there. But if I'm going to a bar, I'm still a meat and potatoes kind of guy where I'm ordering a shot and a beer and something light like a lager or a pilsner. And usually, listen, I can go high class bourbons with the best of them and have some Willet or some Eagle Rare 18-year or Pappy Van Winkle or Blanton's is my favorite. But I'll just take a shot of Jim Beam or Jack Daniels, an old style, and I'm set.
Make sure to click the subscribe button below this video and check out Power Book 4 Force, starring Joseph Sikora on Sunday, February 6th at 9 p.m.